Hey guys and girls, what is going on? It is Zazzri today, and I'm bringing you Season 2, Episode number 7 of my Juventus Career Mode. So we are kicking things off here with a squad report. It's kind of what everyone does at the end of a season. I'm sorry this season was short. Next season I expect it to be 10, 11, 12 episodes long. It's because quite a few games were simmed, just because I needed to get through the season as quickly as I could. But anyway, yeah, this is the squad report. I'll go through the team, talk about a few different players. And the reason that this team set out like this is because this is the current team. If you're wondering, the reason for that is either injury or whatever it could be. Because the last game of the season, players were either injured or fitness was low or that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the reason that I thought I'd do a squad report. So Timothy Noshi, he's not really a player that I've used at all. He's been playing 2 games in the Serie A. He's got an average of 7 out of those 2 games, and he's 62 overall. He's really, really not a good player. It's just because our goalkeeper was injured. Actually, that's the reason I used him. Isla has not grown at all, and as you can see, I played him 48 games. I know he grows, but I don't understand why he's not. If anyone could have a clue why he hasn't, I've played him 48 games, and that starts, I haven't really brought him on that much, and that's really poor with an average match rating of 6.5. He's just not been that great for me at all this season. Moving on to Bonucci, he's grown by 2 to an 84, average match rating of 7.1. He's been a really good player actually. He's been quite surprising in how good he's been actually. I don't know, when I've used him, I've just felt that our defence has been a lot more solid, and I've just felt more comfortable when he's been in my defence really. And moving on to the right back, that should be right back, but basically he can play centre back if you look on his card, and he's going to an 83. But the reason, I think it's due to injury or something to our other centre backs like Chiellini and stuff. But he's been very good. He's a really good player. He's just not worth very much because of his age and his overall, but he's a very solid overall player. Moving on to Jordi Alba, he's grown to an 84 overall. He's got an average match rating of 6.9. He's played 55 games, which is actually quite a lot if you think about it. He's been a very, very, very good left back. I've really enjoyed using him. His pace is just something else. Like you just can't imagine how good 91 acceleration and 90 sprint speed is. Because if there's a counter attack, he's someone that can just get back and nick the ball off them, and then allows the other centre backs and defenders and midfielders that just are not as quick, or they're not, if it's a corner and then the other team breaks, just gives us that extra time. Asamoah, he's transfer listed because he's unhappy, and I've just hated using him. He's an 87 overall. He's going by 3. And he's just not done anything. He's got no goals and 4 assists in 35 games. You look at his stats, and he should be a very good player, but for some reason, something about him, I just don't get on too well with him. He's just not a player that I enjoy using at all. But I thought, I might as well give him a fair crack. Vidal has played fantastically for me. 2 goals and 4 assists makes him seem like a bad player, but that's not really the sort of midfielder he's been. He's been the guy that's won the ball back and distributed it, and goals moving forward. 87 overall, going by 1. He has been great for me overall. See, all his stats are either yellow or greens, which is fantastic. That means he's a very well-rounded player. Moving on to Gambardini, people said play him. I did. 24 games, so he's got 14 goals and 6 assists. An average match rating of 7.7. 7's generally players played well. He's going by 3 to a 79 overall. He's been fantastic for me. Had a lot of offers for him in January. I've really enjoyed using him. He can play cam, he can play striker, he can play one of the position, I think. And he's just been very, very good. I look forward to using him in a couple of seasons' time, where I see him, he'll be like one of the beasts of the team. But I do plan on using him more and more each season. I think he's actually injured at one point in the season as well, which is why I didn't play him. But his acceleration has grown by 5 to 90, and his sprint speed to 91. So obviously he's very, very quick. There's just a few things. If he had better dribbling and ball control, that might help him a little bit more. Sometimes you'll pass the ball to him, and he kind of doesn't have a great first touch. Or when he's dribbling, because he's quite a tall player as well. Although he's very quick, he kind of the ball's not right at his feet, so he kind of loses it sometimes. Eric Lamela has grown by 2 to an 83 overall, an average match rating of 7, so he's played pretty well. 12 goals, 5 assists, which is not too bad at all. He can play right wing, left wing. I think he can play cam as well, but he's left-footed, so I like to play him on that right-hand side, because then he can cutting and use that left foot of his, which is fantastic, by the way. If you get him on his right foot, on his left foot, sorry, it's incredible. I really do enjoy using that left foot. But the problem is, with Gambardini and all that, there is and as you can see, his pace has increased massively, which was a big problem with him. He's got great ball control and dribbling, but his pace was a bit lacking for a winger. But it's actually grown quite a bit, and he's only 22, so he's got plenty of time to grow. The problem is, with the cam and the wing and the striker spots, there is so many beast players in this team that it's like a struggle for some of these players. Lamela, Gambardini, Niang, Cavani, Neymar, Isco, they're all fighting, and Marchisio. And then there's a battle between Vidal, Marchisio, Asamoah, probably leaving a few players out for the central roles, for the centre mids and the centre defensive mids. So that's the thing that's been hard, juggling who to put in what position, because it's like, oh, I love this player, and I love this player, and I love this, and you can't play them all, especially when they're all very fit and stuff. It's very difficult. And Cavani, his stats here, it's not really right, because a lot of these games were actually played for Napoli, so that's 23 goals and assists. He's grown by 2, but he's been a fantastic player. I've really enjoyed using Cavani, but you can't look into his stats too much, just because a lot of those goals and all that kind of stuff was with Napoli. But the average match rating is something we can use, 7.4. He's clearly played very well for us, and he's been a very good player. He actually can play left wing as well, so he has more competition. Neymar has become a 90 overall. He's got 33 goals and 10 assists this season in 45 matches. An average match rating of 7.6. He was actually injured at one point, and that's why it's 45 when he could have played 50 odd. 98 acceleration, 93 sprint speed, 98 ball control, 96 dribbling. You can see his stats are 90 finishing. He's been amazing. That's why he's got 33 goals, because all the key stats for a striker or a winger, it doesn't matter where you play him, because he can play striker as well. He can play left wing, he can play centre forward. It's been insane. He's worth 42 million, but I'll never sell him. I really can't see myself ever selling this guy. He's been fantastic. He's been the guy that's won me points when I've needed them. Won me matches, got me goals, created something out of nothing. He's been fantastic. Moving on to Marchisio, who's going to an 88 overall, 8 goals and 11 assists, average match rating of 7. He's been very, very good as well this season. It's been a struggle, where to play him as well, because he's been included in the mix up of who plays where, and he's another one, same as Vidal, who has got all yellows and greens, so obviously a very well-rounded player, which is something that I look for in midfielders, that central midfielder role. If they're really well-rounded, then it's, he's only got 79 pace, but it doesn't really matter, because he's so well-rounded in where he plays. Moving on to Niang, people said to buy him, and I have, and he just hasn't improved as much as I thought he would, but he's still been very good. That 6.4 match rating doesn't really kind of show what he's done. He's actually a really good player. He's got 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, and even his stats, his attributes don't show what kind of player he is. I do enjoy using him a lot, but sometimes it's difficult for him to do the game when he's competing with the likes of Lamela and all those other players that can be included in that mix. It's difficult for me to play him over those players. Moving on to Isco, who's grown to an 85 overall, 46 games, 8 assists, 5 goals, 6.9 match rating. He's been fantastic as well. I mean, the problem with Isco is there are some games where he does nothing, but then there's other games where he's just unbelievably good. 92 ball control, 90 dribbling, and he can just tear through opposition. They can't do anything. He can create goals, all that kind of stuff, but sometimes he just does nothing at all. Luca Moroni, he's gone by T to a 77. Haven't really used this guy too much. He just doesn't really fit in. Dumbier, someone I'm going to want to sell this season. In 14 games, he's only got 3 goals and 5 assists. He's really not played too well for me. And those 3 goals are all from sim matches, I think. Apart from maybe, he's just really not a player that's fitting well with this team at all, which is a bit of a shame. I thought he'd do better than he has. But you got to live with it, I suppose. He's not really got a game, because Cavani can play striker, Gambardini can play striker, Neymar can play striker. And we only have one striker role in the 4-3-3, so I've just not needed him at all, really. And he doesn't really bring anything to the table. Those 3 players that I mentioned don't, they've all got pace. So there's no real reason to play him. Ogbonna, he's grown by 2 to an 85. He's got a goal and assist, 7.2 match rating. He's been fantastic for me. As you can see, 0 red cards and only 3 yellows this season, which is also very good. been an absolute monster. He's got 87 strength, and he's just been fantastic. I've loved using him. But there's nothing else to say. If you want a centre back for not much money, get Ogbonna. He's a monster. Oh yeah, and I forgot about Walcott as well. He can play striker and he can play right wing. So yeah, 86 overall. He's going by 3. He's got 12 goals and 1 assist, 7.1 match rating. He's been fantastic for me. I expected him to be like a flop really, because I kind of bought him and then was like, wait, I just put Walcott. He's not that great, but he's been fantastic for me. Like he's not always, he doesn't have that many. His acceleration's gone on my warning, which I don't understand, but his sprint speed's 97 and his acceleration's 96, so he's an absolute monster. You've got to think about it like this. You've got Walcott on the right wing, you've got Neymar on the left wing, Cavani a striker. It's just unstoppable. They've got pace, dribbling, finishing ability, and it's crazy. It's so fun to play with, and he's been great. Stegen's only going by 2 to 182 overall, but I think he's actually been injured quite a bit. He's got a broken ankle, but before that he was injured as well at the start of the season. I believe anyway, he's got 15 clean sheets this season. He's an alright keeper. He's not fantastic, but he's not bad at all. And he's a good enough keeper where it's not like I'm looking for a replacement or anything. So he's been pretty good actually. He's just not been, oh my god, he's world class. He's just been pretty good. Pretty solid. I don't really have any complaints or anything like that. So moving on to Rossi, who's grown by 2 to a 74. He hasn't really played much, I don't think. 3 games, that's not really much at all. And Elkra's been dreadful. I haven't even played him because his stats are just unbelievably bad. And I couldn't sell him either because he's retiring anyway. So he's just really sat there and not done a lot, which is a bit of a shame. I kind of thought that he's alright last season. He had a bit of strength and stuff, which helped now and then, but I was just like, what's the point playing him? Chiellini, we moved past the Sigli, and Chiellini's got 1 goal this season. He's been fantastic for me. He's been so good. For some reason, Ogbonna and Chiellini together did not work very well at all, but Ogbonna with Bonucci, or Chiellini with Bonucci, or whoever it is, Caceres, whoever, they've been fantastic, but together they just didn't work. I don't know why, but Chiellini's also another great defender. The problem is that his age, he's going to go down probably next season or the season after, whereas Ogbonna's like 26 maybe, so he's got a lot more time, and then these are just the people that are out on loan, so I'm not really too concerned about them, to be honest. As long as they're growing a little bit, that's fine, because all I'm going to do is let them grow, and then just sell them, rather than just sell them straight away. And I could get even 4 million, maybe more, 10 million if I get for them instead of 5. I'll take it. Anyway, we did win the league. Only by 3 points over Lazio. The top 3 were Juventus, Lazio and Milan, so we got to the Champions League, and then Inter and Napoli are in the Europa. We won 25, drew 8, lost 5. Scored so many more, and that is because we've just got such a great attack. Conceded, not great, 37, compared to the 31s there. That is something I want to work on. But still had a way better goal difference than anyone else. We scored 14 more than the next best, which was Milan. And the teams that are relegated are Bari, Livorno and Verona. They were all relegated easily, Udinese and Bologna. I don't know how to say it. They weren't really in any trouble, with 34 points compared to 19. Just does not compare at all. So that is that, really. We did win the league, which is something I wanted to do. Obviously, we went out of the Champions League in the group stage, which is utterly dreadful. And we went out of the Europa League because of that dreadful own goal last episode. So if you want to go see that, I would recommend you do. Isla conceded an absolutely dreadful own goal, which I was pretty embarrassed by. Anyway, Neymar was the top scorer with 20 goals. Second was Cavani with 18. I think some of those might have been Napoli goals. I'm not too sure though. Actually, I really don't know if it resets or what. But yeah, Neymar was fantastic. He's got 33 goals in total, and 20 in the league is pretty damn good. And then moving on to assists, Marchisio came in second with 9. You've also got Neymar, who's also technically in second with 9. El Shao's up there, and Destro is also up there. So that's very good as well. Neymar's clearly been like the player of the season for us. He's an unreal player, especially in the second season. In the first season, I always find Neymar's not that great. Second season, he's unreal. Ter Stegen joint second most clean sheets with 14. Marchetti did have more. But Neymar, the reason that he's better in the second season and third season and all that you know, I think he becomes the best player in the game after the second season, because his ball control, all that kind of stuff, his dribbling, his acceleration becomes just a tad higher, and that just makes him unstoppable. He's unreal with all the when he grows, but you know, the first season he's still decent, but he's not like amazing, and then he becomes absolutely unreal. As you can see, we went out in the group stage. I'm just going to show it here. I'll just get a drink. Yeah, so we went out in the group stage, which was really, really disappointing. We drew 4, lost 1, and won 1, which is just dreadful. Liverpool and Spartak were the ones that got through, which I was just like, looking back at it, it's unbelievable with the team I had. But you know, actually, to be fair, Walcott, Cavani, they were brought in January, so I suppose can't complain too much. And then I was just looking through if we had any, you know, players that did well. And then we'll look at the EuroLeague. And I accidentally went into the group tables here, but yeah, it was overall. I've got mixed feelings about this season. Winning the league is obviously something I want to be doing every single season if I can. Barney got the second most assists in the Europa League, which is not bad at all. But you know, winning the league is something I want to try and do. But overall, I'm just trying to win every single trophy in one season. That's the overall goal for this career mode. Hopefully next season, just do a little bit better in the Champions League. You know, going out the group stage is dreadful, and then potential job openings were Atletico Madrid, which is just something I'm not interested in whatsoever. So yeah, obviously I wasn't going to go there. And I think that was the only one that was available if I wanted to move anyway. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and leave a comment what you're looking forward to next season, and we'll have a little break here for me to get some footage and make some videos, and then we'll come back for season 3 and hopefully do a lot better. See you later, guys.